After graduating college, I moved into my first real house. It wasn't glamorous, just an old two-bedroom on the edge of town in a run-down neighborhood I could afford. It had sagging floorboards, paper-thin walls, and a yard that hadn't been touched in what looked like years. Still, I figured it was a step up from dorm life. The neighbors, however, were a different story. To my left were party animals, always blasting bass-heavy music deep into the night. But it was the house on my right that made me uneasy from the day I arrived. It was home to two women. One appeared to be in her 60s, always chain-smoking on the porch, squinting at everyone with these cold, judgmental eyes. The other woman, I couldn't put an age on. She was younger, but clearly unwell, mentally. I'd often see her pacing along their porch barefoot, hugging herself and muttering incomprehensible things. Sometimes she'd rock back and forth violently, or point at me while yelling something I couldn't make out. Most evenings, I'd sit on my front steps just to get some air. But whenever they were out, I'd go back inside. I couldn't shake the feeling of being watched or judged. It wasn't just uncomfortable, it was unsettling. One night, after a rough day at work, I tried to get to bed early, but I couldn't sleep. The yelling started just past 10 p.m. Wild shrieking from next door. I heard banging, then a guttural scream that made my stomach drop. It went on for nearly an hour. I'd had enough. I marched next door in my slippers and banged on their front door. The older woman answered with a look that could kill. "What the hell do you want?" she barked, eyes bloodshot. I calmly asked her to please keep the noise down. Told her I had to work in the morning. Her expression twisted into disgust. She tilted her head down slightly, narrowed her eyes, and muttered something under her breath. That's when the younger woman ran into the room, pointing at me and screaming, "How dare you! How dare you!" Over and over. The older woman grabbed her, pulled her back, and slammed the door in my face. I stood there for a few seconds, stunned. I didn't say anything else. I just walked back home, locked my door, and tried to sleep. But around 3:14 a.m., I woke up to an icy chill. My bedroom window was closed. So where was the draft coming from? I sat up slowly, my ears tuned into the silence, until I heard a soft creak from downstairs. I grabbed my phone, clicked the side button to light up the screen, but didn't dare turn on the flashlight. I tiptoed to the top of the stairs and listened. Nothing. Maybe I imagined it. I returned to bed. 20 minutes later, I woke up again. This time, with a start. I couldn't explain it. There was no sound, just a pressure, like something was wrong. That's when I noticed it. A small, rounded shape at the foot of my bed. A dark, hunched silhouette, frozen in place. My heart was pounding. I slowly tilted my phone screen toward the shape, letting the faint glow stretch across the room. That's when I saw her, the younger woman from next door. She was crouched at the edge of my bed, her face inches from the wood frame, lips curled into a grin, pupils wide. Her skin looked almost gray in the dim light. Her breathing was heavy. And then she screamed, a blood-curdling, ear-shattering shriek like an animal. I jumped out of bed, tripped over my own feet, and scrambled to the door. She chased after me. I slammed the door shut and bolted down the stairs, heart racing. I locked the stairwell behind me and called the police while she pounded against the door and screamed nonsense. Slurred words, curses, and high-pitched howls. When the officers arrived, they found her sitting at the top of my stairs, still muttering. They restrained her quickly and brought her outside. That's when the older woman appeared, barefoot and still in her nightgown, begging the cops to let her daughter go. Her daughter. That explained the strange dynamic. The cops told her they had to take the younger woman in for at least the night. One officer asked me if I wanted to press charges. I looked at the older woman. Her eyes met mine, full of hate. No sadness, no apology, just pure contempt. I shook my head and said no. They took the younger woman away. 5 minutes later, I watched the mother storm off and drive away herself. They both still live next door. I haven't slept through the night since. Sometimes, I swear I hear soft footsteps on my porch, just after 3 a.m.